listen to a couple of conversations at the same time, but not absolutely necessary, but it is a nice feature to have. So anyway, so in your former life, Ken, I'm assuming you're retired now, so what was your profession, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was a truck driver for 45 years, over.
Oh, wow, good for you. Well, you would have seen a lot of the country, I assume. Did you pretty much stay in the States, or did you come up to Canada at all?
I used to run Montreal, Quebec every now and then, and back years ago I used to run up to Calgary, but that was a long time ago, and when they started requiring a passport, I didn't go to Canada anymore, over.
Okay, very good. Well, and that's the way it is, so I'm just glad that we're past the whole COVID thing. It was getting difficult even to try to get down to our winter home there in Fort Myers. They were so fussy about what you were, just how vaccinated you were or were not coming across the border. They wanted to see documentation and along with all the regular usual stuff with passports, etc. So just glad we're past all that, and we had to go down early this year because of Hurricane Ian there. Really made a mess in Florida, and we typically don't go down until about maybe latter part of November, first part of December. I enjoy the fall, Ken. It's nice and cool up here, nice colors in the trees. You can work outside, you're not sweating all over the place, and I just don't like to leave too early, but in this case, I did open up a claim online shortly after the storm. So what was the date of the storm? September 28th, I think, was when Hurricane Ian hit. So I opened up a claim because one of the people in the HOA kind of drove around the park and took a video of people's homes, so you could get a kind of a ballpark ID anyway of any potential damage. And I could see some damage there, so I opened up a claim, and then I thought everybody and his brother is going to want to have an insurance guy come and speak to them, so I thought I won't get contacted for months. But I think it was about 10 days later, I get a call from an insurance adjuster in Texas, and he says, I'm heading over to Florida, and I've got some other clients in your HOA, and can you be there? He gave me a date that was like the 20th of October or something, and I thought, wow, I just don't want to go that early. But I'd read some things with the many claims that there was even insurance companies that were going bankrupt, so I thought, okay, we probably shouldn't delay this too long. So we packed up the van, and my wife and I drove down there in about mid-October, which was way early, but I guess it turned out better. We had a good insurance adjuster. He took 100 photographs and found things and saw things that I didn't see, and I remember saying that to him. I wouldn't have noticed that, and I wouldn't have noticed this, and he said, well, I've been doing this job for 38 years, so I know what to look for. So he saw everything that he thought was necessary, took all the photographs, and then we'd end up getting a check maybe about 6 weeks later. So it was good to get that, and just to get some of the repairs done there. Roger?
Roger, W9KGM on a 50, it's been a while. Yeah, well, it's a good deal, you know. A good reputable insurance company should operate that way, but not all of them do, over.
Yeah, you're right. I did hear some nightmares down there, Ken. People who had sustained a lot of damage, and even months later. We left to come home in April, and I know people who were still waiting for some sort of financial remuneration there, even that late after the storm. So pretty tough situation. So we were pretty fortunate to get some payments fairly quickly. And the irony of it is, I was up on the roof with the guy, and he looks at the damage, and he says to me, he looks across the street, and my neighbor's roof came off across the street, and it flew over our way and slammed into our carport, and part of it went up over our roof and kind of gouged the roof panels, etc. Anyway, long story short, he basically said to me, you know what, if that guy's roof hadn't come off, he probably would have needed a power wash, and that's basically it there. Roger?
Roger. By the way, what is your call? I'm trying to log it in here.
Yeah, Vector Echo 3, Quebec, Delta X-Ray, QDX, QSL, Ken?
VE3, yeah. I put in VK. VE3 QDX. QDX. There it is.
There, you found me there, Ken?
Yep, sure did, Brett. Yep, that's a pretty nice station you got set up there.
Well, I made a few changes. I think what you can see there is the 7600, I think, in the shack here. But I just obviously swapped that out. And on the, I think, I haven't seen that photograph for a while. I think on the right-hand side is maybe an Ameritron. I forget whether I had the 811 or 811H, but anyway, that's gone. And now there's an Ecom 1000 sitting in that spot. So big brown box on the right-hand side of the shack now, Ken.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, it's 811H. I pulled the photo up and it zoomed in. It looked like H anyway.
Yeah, that was the one. I did have an 811 first, and then had it for a couple of years. Went down to Fort Myers, and I was looking for an H. And as it was, there was a ham just about 2 hours up the interstate had an H and was selling it for a reasonable price. So I bought that. That was a couple of years ago, and then last year when I was down, I was thinking, well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind having something a bit more powerful if I needed it, and I was looking for maybe something reasonably close to legal limit, and a guy had a 572. And he wasn't too far away either, so I called him up and we were chatting, and then I said, well, I'm definitely interested in that. He says, well, I'll tell you what, he said, I'm actually getting out of the hobby, and I'm going to sell my other amp. And I said, oh, well, okay, well, tell me about that. So he said, well, it's an Ecom 1000, beautiful amp, really enjoyed it, and got a lot of protectionary measures built into it. You really can't hurt it. And he said, I think if you spent a little extra money, I think you'd be really happy if you bought the Ecom. So as it turns out, Ken, I kind of caved and I said, well, you know what? I know some other guys up here that might even be interested in the 572. So I said, I'll tell you what. I know that as an amateur, you don't like to have to ship an amplifier. Many hams don't like to ship amps for the obvious reasons. And I said, make it worth my while, and I'll buy both of them from you. So he made it worth my while, so I bought both and brought the Ecom back and put that in the shack, and then as it turns out, I just sold the 572 to another buddy a few days ago. So there you go. I would have been happy with the 572. I mean, it does well, 1.3, I think, 1.3, but I do like the Ecom. I do like the extra protections built into it, and you really can't hurt it. It's just that if I got to find a spare tube, I was going to pick Dave's brain there. I wasn't sure if he had a GU74B for sale there. I wouldn't mind having at least one spare, but I just don't want to buy a brand new one. They're pretty pricey too. So just trying to be careful with this one, not push it too hard. It's up in the 550, 575 watts or so on peaks there. I think if I try to push it any more than that, I'm not sure you'd see a whole lot of difference anyway, Ken. So anyway, that's my story on amplifiers.
Oh, yeah, you bet. Well, you know, the thing of it is, anything over 400 watts is almost a waste. I run this thing pretty hard. I don't drive it real hard. I only drive it with about 65, 70 watts. But I get good power out of it. But, you know, it's funny, on a 3500, they like to be run hard, over.
Yeah, I think I have read that as well. I'm only driving this with about 30. Well, hang on, I can actually check the drive power here on this amp. Let me just see here what we're doing here. Okay, yeah, on radio 123. Yeah, the drive is only about 35 watts. Ken, put 35 watts drive. And on peaks, I'm getting about low audio, about 4.5.
I'm only driving about 35 watts now, showing about 600 to 700 out. And I don't know if it made any difference or not.
You dropped down a little bit, but you're still there, really solid, and lots of punch. So put it back where you were, Ken. I'll just listen to the difference in audio there.
Okay, I'm back up to about a kilowatt, over.
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, it definitely has a little bit more punch there, but I just find working DX and that sort of thing. I just think the best bang for your buck is the first 500 or 600 watts, and then beyond that, well, if you want to spend the extra money, then more power to you. But it's usually a lot of extra money to go up the legal limit there, Roger.
Yeah, you bet. And the thing of it is, it's awful hard on the antennas and feed lines, etc. too, over.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ken. You're absolutely right. Okay, what time we got here? 1 o'clock. VE3 Quebec Delta X-ray, 1:01 a.m. I think I'm going to pull the plug here, Ken, and head to bed, get a reasonable sleep, and then meet up with 2 other amateurs in the morning for coffee. So thanks a lot, Ken. I really appreciate you giving me some help and assistance here through the menus and giving me some feedback along with the notes I took from Dave too. So I think we probably made some improvement there. I didn't even know where the base and treble were set for. So hopefully we have it in a more decent setting there now. So anyway, good talking to you, Ken. Yeah, I worked for the phone company for 38 years, retired at 55. I'm 67 now. And I did a little bit of computer repair work for a few years, and then did a little bit of working for Canada Post, delivering some mail right in the village of Bath here where I live. I did that for a few years, but with the last 5-6 years, I've just been enjoying retirement and enjoying getting down to Florida in the wintertime. Not a big fan on the cold and snow and all that kind of stuff. So it's really nice to escape to the sunshine state there in wintertime. So anyway, that's kind of the history here. And if you get on 40, Ken, I'll certainly listen for you again. No trouble hearing you. Hi. The Whiskey 9 Kilo Golf Mike. This is VE3 Quebec Delta X-ray. Back to you for a final, Ken. Take it away.
Okay, Brett, VE3 QDX W9 KGM. Very good, old man. Yeah, it's, I've been retired 7 years now, I think. I just turned 76, and I worked for 3 years after I drew my Social Security, which kind of feathered the nest a little bit, yeah, I'm just kicking back. I've been a chauffeur to my wife. She had 2 strokes and has therapy a couple of times a week, and usually a doctor's appointment thrown in, so I'm still driving, over.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear about the strokes, Ken, but good for you to be taking care of your wife. That's very admirable, so I give you commendations for that. So well, take care of her, take care of yourself, and yeah, let's just enjoy the hobby. It's a great hobby. I really enjoy it. Been a ham since I was 21, I think, when I first got my license. So, and I hope to enjoy it for many more years. You have a good morning there, Ken. Take care of yourself, and I get on 40 quite often. I'm usually a 40 and 75 guy, so I'll come by here most evenings. I'm sure I'll hear you again. So take care. Whiskey 9 Kilo Golf Mike, VE3 QDX. It's been great chatting, Ken, and 7-3 for now, okay?
Okay, Brett, VE3 QDX W9 KGM. Well, I come on pretty regular and aggravate Dave a little bit, you know. You heard me call him Mrs. Brown?
Yes, I did. I don't think he minds the abuse. I think he takes it from a few people, so he takes it quite well, I think.
Well, one thing you're not going to do, you're not going to get over on him, over.
Well, you're absolutely right, and he's probably the strongest signal usually I hear on 40, so he really, I really can't get away from him there, Roger.
Roger, do you know where I come up with that name, Mrs. Brown?
No, you better enlighten me on that.
Do a Google search for Mrs. Brown's Boys. It's a comedy, and it's British TV, and it's funny as hell. And when Dave goes into his yabba 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 yabbas, it reminds me of Mrs. Brown. Over.
Okay, very good. I hadn't heard that before, so I'll have to do a search on Google for that. So you call it Mrs. Brown's Boys? Is that what you said, Ken?
Yep, sure enough. It's funny. My wife found it. She watches a lot of British TV on streaming. She's got Redbox and a couple others, and we watched that whole series and laughed all the way through it. Over.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, it's nice to be able to enjoy the new technology, whether it's amateur radio or TV or whatever they're offering. So, anyway. Okay, Ken, great chatting with you. Thanks again for all your help, and I'll hear you again here on 40. So take care of yourself. Take care of your wife there as well. Whiskey 9 Kilo Golf Mike, VE3QDX. Thanks again, and 73.
73, Brett. Well, that menu system on the 7600, I think, is very similar to the 7300. And the menu system is precisely the reason that I didn't buy a 991 Yaesu. Over.
A 991. So I know that's an HF rig as well. So I don't know much about it though, Ken. So give me a quick history of the 991.
Well, the 991 also includes 2 meters, and it's a Yaesu, but the menu on that thing is unbelievable. I don't want any part of it. It was hard enough coming off the 746 onto this. Over.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize it was. So you're saying it's just a heck of a lot more detailed than the Icon?
Yeah, well, like the DX10 that they've come out with, it's got the same menu system as a 101 ZD or whatever the heck it is. And I hear these guys setting up audio on them, and it sounds like a nightmare to me. Over.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, so okay. I thought there was a 991, and I thought there was a 991A or something like that. So I knew there was a change in the versions. I think is one HF, and then the other one has VHF as well, Ken?
I think they both do, but the 991A is just an upgraded version of the 991. Over.
Oh, okay. I'll have to do some Google searches on that one too. Okay. Well, thanks again for chatting, Ken. I really appreciate it, and appreciate all your help too. I think it's definitely made an improvement. So I'll listen for you again. Take care of yourself. W9KGM, V3QDX. I'm heading to the bed. 7-3, Ken.
Okay, 73, Brett. Yeah, I got to get in the house and put my wife's leg pump on. She has lymphedema in one of her legs, and I got to put that thing on her for about an hour each day. So it's time again. At any rate, 73 is good talking to you. Enjoyed the conversation. VE3QDX, W9KGM, clear.
Good enough. Thanks, Ken. 7-3.
Kilo 1, Juliet Kilo, Maritime Mobile. Yeah, Kilo 1, yeah, boy, my head just went blank. Go ahead. I just got up here. I missed Dave and everybody else there tonight there. I'm working Maritime Mobile here right off of Long Island Sound there. K1JK, Jeff on that, and you're 5'9 plus. You're 10 over. Go ahead. Okay, Jeff. Yeah, you're running up and picking out of the cherry tree as well. Over. We're just running 100 watts with the ICOM 7300. No, I was just listening to you. I got the 7610 at home, and the menu's user-friendly compared to the Yaesu. That's why I went with the 7610. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, you bet. Like I say, I was off the air for about 30 years, or 20 years, and I got back on in 2019, relicensed and everything, and I had an old 746, and I was looking for a rig, and the 7300 just awful hard to beat, especially looking at the price point on it. Over. Yeah, I got the 7300 with me now, and then I just upgraded last year. I picked one up on